Hi everybody, and in today's session we're going to start looking at our inner self and our inner fire and kind of relighting whatever we need to light in ourselves right now. You know, whatever you feel that is burning low, whatever you feel you need. Sometimes there's two theories with how you can kind of bring yourself back up. One of them says just focus on your strengths and the weaknesses will naturally raise, or you can focus on the weaknesses and think of re-bringing yourself something that you haven't got. And today for this session we're going to be reigniting something. Now if this isn't something you want to do or whatever like that, then by all means, you know, go to another one of the videos or move along without the intention behind it. But what I'm going to do for all of us to start is I've got this little battery packed candle, and I just want you to take a few breaths right now, just wherever you are, just looking at this candle and set an intention of what you want for the session, something that you want to light up. And this can be as simple as just reconnecting to yourself. It could just be, this represents my core. And, you know, if you're not wanting to put the intention behind it, could just be finding my body awareness or moving my shoulders down and finding the length in my spine. So we're just going to take 3 collective breaths together, setting this intention on the candle at the end. So we're going to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in one more time and breathe out. Set whatever your intention is for your candle, or just trust that whatever it is will unleash itself. We'll find the end. We're going to light it up. I'm going to place this down here. It won't be in sight, but know that that is lit throughout the whole session. So just going to come to our mat, to our floor, wherever we are. Just gently start rocking side to side between the left and the right foot. Keeping the body in a nice straight line so it's moving exactly with it for now. Just feeling the gentle shift of weight. Feeling potentially the pressure in the feet, maybe the legs, the knees, the hips, the lower back, the upper back, the shoulders, the neck. Just noticing wherever there's, or potentially is, any tension for you. And just allow this sway to kind of soothe this area. Allow this rhythm that maybe you can hear or you can feel with your own feet. Allow this to self-soothe yourself, trusting that everything is okay and that you are safe. You may want to add just a little bit of more movement, just allowing the head and the spine to move. Just swaying side to side as if you're the flicker of a candle. Going as large or as small as you want. Finding your own rhythm. Moving away or towards the direction of travel. Just find what works for you. Allowing yourself to be free without any judgment, without anyone watching. I'm going to be here for 3 more breaths, just loosening up whatever you need in the side to side. When we get to the end of the 3rd, we're just going to come back to our little heels, moving up and down, our little trots. And we're feeling the resistance against the floor as we're coming down, but the lightness of the upper body as we're being lifted up onto our toes. So we come in from flat to both toes, down, up, down. So we're keeping this lifted feeling in the upper body, but we're still feeling that resistance as we're coming down. So we could be sending whatever we need through the floor as we're feeling the contact with the earth, or we could be connecting to a higher self as we're lifting. I'm just going to do 3 on each side more. So each side counting as 1. Then you're going to come and just gently bend those knees again, like we have done many times, keeping that lightness and that liftedness in the upper body. that reaching up to a higher self and the grounding of the feet. And just feel all your toes on the floor. Feel the security of where you are. Feel the lightness that can come from this as well. Sending any worries down into the ground. Maybe syncing this up with your breath, or just finding the rhythm of the movement. I'll do 2 more of these. At the end of the second, come into a standing again. Finding the length, the liftedness, engaging the core towards self. I'm just naturally self-soothing and moving again, but what we're going to do is we're going to have our palms by our side. We're going to move our arms, palms facing forward, palms facing back. Moving as slowly as you can. Just feeling the connection that it has to your arms. Feeling that move potentially up the shoulders, maybe up to the neck and the head. Feeling the connection it has to your spine. Just come into a grounded position as well. Just as you're doing this and you're feeling this movement happening, you feel secure enough to ground yourself. Feeling the spread of your toes on the floor, the weight in between your heel and your toes. So making that adjustment as you need. Just going to do a few more of these. Just feeling the gentle stretch in the body. And now with an exhale, we're going to bring the arms down. Bring our left ear above our left shoulder. Giving all our weight to our head as it's falling down. So we exhale and roll that head forward. So the chin is tucked in with the chest. The spine is still long, the core is still engaged to self. Connecting to ourself this whole time, you may want to place your hands on your belly to feel this. You're letting that head relax. As you exhale and bring that right ear above the right shoulder. Shoulders are stayed pulled down as there's a lightness in the upper body. As you exhale, folding that head forward again. Meeting it in the middle. Now you're going to take that energy and you're going to allow that head to fall even more. Bending those knees and moving down from the top of the vertebrae all the way down to the bottom. Wherever that is, whether your hands are resting on your legs or place the palms on the backs of the feet, keeping those knees bent. And allow the head to relax. Feel the sensation of the blood moving. If at any time you need to take a break, you can either roll up or go to a flat back position. So you're just going to feel the weight of your feet on the floor and your hands on your feet or your legs. Really giving this energy in, pushing as much as you can. Potentially making your muscles shake. So you exhale, you're going to lift the spine up, but straighten it so we're in a tabletop position, keeping those knees bent. Your hands can rest either on the thigh or below the knee. The chin is staying tucked so there's a length in the spine. With an exhale from this position, keeping the core engaged to self, you're going to come down into your squat pose and bring that the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. As you twist, your hands are coming into prayer position. Feeling the firing up of the lower body, the twisting in the upper as you're still finding that length. So you exhale, come back to that tabletop position so we're nice and flat. Feeling the length in the spine, tucked in of the neck. So we exhale, bringing the right hand to the outer of the left, palms pressing against each other, just as we were pressing against them on the feet. Feeling the lower body firing up. So we exhale, coming back to that tabletop position. You're going to straighten your legs now. Just gently move down with a straight back, wherever that is for you, either placing the hands in front of you, so you're keeping that weight in the middle of the foot and not just in the thighs, or resting them on top. Wherever you are, you should be able to lift your heels up slightly as if you could slide a piece of paper underneath. And just practice this as you fire up the backs of the legs. So if you're lifting up, allowing a piece of paper and note to slide underneath you. And notice the pulse that this creates, both in your feet, but also in your muscles, how they react. Maybe they shake, maybe they pulse. You're going to exhale, bend those knees down, keep those hands in front of you. My chest is coming to my body and my hands are reaching the floor. My ears are in line with my elbows. I'm just shifting my weight forward and then back onto my feet again. Forward, onto my hands and back onto my feet. Finding a rhythm and a trust of self as you're leaning forward. Noticing how it affects your breath. Keeping that core engaged to self the whole time. Core moving towards the spine. I'm going to do 3 more of these. And on your third exhale, you're rolling up from the bottom of the spine, all the way up to the top into the head as last. Bringing those shoulders down away from the ears. Just staying with the breath for a minute, allowing the blood flow to re-regulate. You're going to shift your weight towards that right foot, heeling the left foot up. And you're going to bring it to the outer of your right foot, holding onto the palm and allowing those knees to fold down. So if I twist so you can see. My hips are staying in line, so they're a straight line. My shoulders are pulled down. My head is slightly tucked, but my head is up. My eyesight is up. My crown is on. Just allowing those hips to open. Just resting, holding onto the shins or onto the thighs. Just staying with the breath, still feeling that core engaged into self. Opening up the hips, opening up ourselves to new ideas. Just noticing the airflow around you, or creating your own. So you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Feeling the energy in the air that will help fire up your inner fire. As you exhale, you're keeping that foot on the outer edge, but flexing it a bit back into the squat position. Placing the hands on the shins, core in towards self. Feeling the firing up of the backs of the right leg. Now you can either stay here and just practice coming up and down, or if you really want to, you can exhale and fold your body forward, moving towards the hips and even potentially towards the floor. Working wherever is right for you right now. Bending in those Achilles. Finding your way all the way down, so we're in this balanced position that we've done before. Just resting on the wall, finding some balance. This time we're in a crossed position. If you're doing the variations, you can come down to the full squat that we normally do on both the feet. Or stay there as we find the challenge. Now exhaling and finding our way back up. Holding over again, opening up that hip. Finding our balance and the stability of being on one straight leg. Feeling the spread of those toes. The neck, the chin slightly tucked in so the neck's nice and long. And the shoulders pulling down. So we exhale, slide that foot down into tree. So my left foot is just above my right ankle. My hands are coming into prayer and actively pushing against each other. So feel the back of my upper back engaging and firing. Maybe my arms as well. This gentle burn, but the balance and the connection to our breath and the air in around us helps to fire our intention that we set and we lit. So we're going to do 3 breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth together. Ready? Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. exhale. Inhale and exhale. So you come back to 2 feet. You may just come back to this gentle sway again, side to side, feeling those shoulders pulling down. Feeling as if we are the fire, we are the flame. Loosen up whatever we need to loosen up. Feeling grounded and okay in our ability that though we're doing some difficult poses, we're doing some difficult asana, that we're capable and we can make the choice to make a variation as well. We've given ourselves some difficulty, but we're able to take it. So we're going to prepare ourselves to do the same on the other side. Placing the hands by the side, shifting the weight towards the left foot as we lift up. Twist so you can see again. Bringing that foot to the outer edge, holding on. Just allowing that knee to fold out wherever is natural for it. Shoulders pulling down. Chin slightly tucked, but lengthen that neck. So I feel it springing up. My left leg is straight, feeling lifted in my hip, and I'm doing that by engaging back to myself. My core, my inner fire is so alive. Just noticing the breath. As we exhale, we bring that foot to the outer. We fold down, holding onto the shins. Keeping that engagement to self. Shoulders are pulling away from the ears. You can choose to do a variation from coming up and down. Testing our balance, firing up the backs of our legs. Keeping that core engaged and straight. Or we can exhale, folding down with me. And then remembering to fold down from the ankles as well. As you find your way towards the floor, coming up onto your toe. Finding balance wherever you can. Staying with the breath, allowing things to burn gently. Even if you're holding something, do try and pull those shoulders down. As you exhale, have the challenge of finding your way back up if you can. If not, falling out of it like I did. Coming back to this open position. Trusting as we've worn the hips up a little bit, they may go a little further. The shoulders are still pulling down, the neck is still long. I'm going to slide that foot now into tree. So my right foot is above my left ankle. My hands are coming to prayer, actively pushing against each other as I do 3 breaths. Again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. So we're going to inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back to both feet. Just bring that gentle sway again. Allowing this to loosen up the legs. Keeping those hands actively pushing against each other. Keeping that movement in the spine. Moving as if we were that candle flame. Connecting back to your breath or feeling your heartbeat as your hands are in the prayer center. I'm going to come into our goddess pose. So we can do this by bringing our feet outside our hips. As far out as we can. Turn them out to 10 to 2. Just checking that when you bend your knees, the knees are above the toes. So they're not bending forward, and adjust your feet to wherever they need to be. When you're in that position, you're just going to keep the length in your upper spine, that lightness that we've been working on. Engagement of core to self as you sit yourself down. So wherever's comfortable. Placing the hands on the upper hips. Feeling the burn as we're opening up the backs of our body, our turnout muscles. Exhale, coming up. Inhale, legs coming down. Exhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, coming up. Place the feet towards me. We're going to fold forward. We'll flat back, either resting the hands on the legs or on the floor. Now the head to relax. And again, just shifting from side to side as you bend one knee and straighten the other. Allow your body to go with the weight, but keeping your hands planted where they are. Finding a flow, making sure to come to that straight position in between. Do 2 more on each side. You're going to exhale and have to turn so you can see. You're in this position, you're going to allow yourself to pull forward, walk those feet into a plank. Exhale, bringing those hips down, folding the feet under, chest lifted, shoulders pulled away. Going to exhale, pull back as if you're going to child's pose, but wiggle those knees out of it again as far as you can. Just pull back as we're sitting in this frog position, keeping the length in the neck and the spine. Sitting on a cushion if you need. The further you lean forward, the less intense on the hips. If you're comfortable in that position, you can come to sitting up. Exhaling, you're wiggling those legs in and coming down into your child's pose. Widening the length in the spine, allowing the neck to relax as the forehead melts into the floor. The fingers are spread and the lower back is going to rest on the feet. You're just going to notice your breath here. The inhale, the belly moving towards the legs, and the exhale, the belly moving towards yourself. And you're going to imagine, you know those Victorian pumps that they used to use on the fireplace to create air? You use them in mattresses sometimes, or bike pumps, where 2 hands are cushioned against each other. I'm imagining my inner fire. And I'm using the in and out of my breath to pump this air towards the fire, allowing it to grow. This fire, you can just see the colour of it. Maybe you want to feel the heat of it. Maybe you want to smell the fire. Whatever sense works for you and whatever sense makes you feel comfortable right now. Allow your breath, the inhale coming towards the belly and the exhale coming towards self, to pump and strengthen this fire wherever it is in your body. Knowing it's a kind and warm fire. Knowing that it's not going to move beyond the barriers that you've set for it. Whether this is the outline of your body, whether this is an area within your body. They're fireproof walls. And sometimes we have walls, we have barriers, we have boundaries that protect us for a reason. Sometimes we may want to change them, but trust that just for right now that those barriers are there for you. So allow the fire to move wherever it can move and grow as ever big as you will let it grow. Knowing that if it comes to a barrier, the fire isn't weakened. It's still as strong where it is, even if right now it's just a small spark. Just keep sending that air to it. And stay here for 3 more breaths. As we exhale, rolling up, staying on our knees. If this is a comfortable position for you, then stay there. If not, coming towards cross-legged, wherever. But we want to be sitting up, finding the length in our spine. More actively, and exhale and move our stomach in as if someone's punching us, or as if we're sending that air back to ourself. Exhale, bringing us back to ourself. We're going to do that as fast as you can. It's important that we're down and we feel grounded where we are. So right now, just close your eyes, find the length in your spine. Just notice whatever is in contact with the floor. Notice your sit bones, your legs, maybe your feet. And just gently rock wherever you are, however makes sense, just as we did at the beginning of the session, like a flame as we were standing. Allowing yourself to find the weight that's on the floor. You may want to touch the floor as well, just to feel as grounded as you can. You may stay with your eyes closed or open your eyes and follow along with me. We're going to exhale as quick as we can, trusting that we're already inhaling, we're already taking from the energy of this session, from the energy of people around us. So our inhale is our connection to others, and our exhale is what we're focusing on, our connection to self. Just so you can see what it looks like, is breathe through your mouth or breathe through your nose, whichever one is your preferred for you right now. And you're just going to do 10, just to start, just as we're starting to bring that fire up. Keep the length of the spine, holding onto the floor if you need to feel any more grounded. For whatever reason at some time you just start to feel a little bit lightheaded, that can be completely normal. Just stop wherever you are and just come back to those big breaths, feeling the inhale, the belly moving towards us, the exhale, the belly moving towards self. So we're going to do 10 together, ready? And just do a nice 3 deep breaths together. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Do that again, one more time, ready? 10 quick breaths. Imagining this flame, this fire in front of you, feeling the belly or feeling the movement of it. Sending that energy towards us as we're sending it towards you. Ready? And 2 breaths together. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And either staying on your knees, or coming to a cross-legged position, we're going to place our hands again in the heart center. Now on the head to drop in front of us, meeting towards the prayer. And folded as far down towards the floor as you can, either keeping the connection of the heart center or touching the floor. We're just going to spend this moment just to release whatever we need, whatever could be dampening our fire. And we'll allow that to spread through us, through our fingers and into the ground, knowing that ground will hold it. That it doesn't disappear, that if it's something that we need later, we can come and take it back. But that right now it's not serving us, so that we can let it go, place it into the ground and pick it up whenever we may need it again. Sending whatever that is out, and if nothing's come into your mind, just staying with the sensation of the fingers on the floor, trusting that whatever out is pouring out. When you finish your intention, connecting back to the breath, we're going to do 3 with the inhales coming in, belly coming to each other, and exhale, belly coming towards self. So then again, inhaling and exhaling. One more time, inhaling, exhaling as we roll back up with the head being last. Giving ourselves a gentle sway, a gentle rock if that's something we need. Bring the legs in front of us and just giving ourselves a hug as we're creating that safe environment for the fire, knowing that it's burning within us, knowing that it's got its confines as well if that's what we need. So thank you so much for joining in today's session. Do let me know how it's gone for you, if there's anything else that you feel that you need, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank